Hey everybody, I'm Andor.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Will.
And we are Working Title, y'all.
Plus Andor.
Guys, we are back. It is Star Wars Andor Season 1, Episode 5, The Axe. Forgets. Last on Mon Mothma, Hugh Hefner. Secret mission on Iceland planet. Guys, make sure if you like this video to leave a like. Don't just think of it in your head. Actually click the button and be like, I like this thing. Gonna show that I like this thing. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay around for not just Andor, but any other Star Wars content in general. This channel will be covering that. Check out the Patreon. You might just find something you like over there. And if not, well, I can't help you with that. Go support the show over on Disney Plus, then come back and watch it, boys. We're gonna punch it.
Don't you dare tase me, bro.
Just making sure that you're doing the job properly. Make sure you hit the button carefully, Adam.
God, he looks like he's crying.
He is.
Jesus, what is
He's
wrong?
back with living with mom.
I mean, yeah.
That's not why he's upset. I would be happy to be with my mother.
Oh, he's got durian fruit.
I don't know.
You've been presenting yourself to the world.
That's a very unique
It
voice.
would explain a great deal.
Cigarettes.
Wow.
Straight is too late.
They have Captain Crunch Pebbles
Might as
in
well
this
wear a
world.
sign.
Oops, all pebbles.
I promised to disappoint you. Shame we couldn't have seen more of each other when you were flourishing. I'd have the memory to sustain me.
Oh my God.
His mom looks like Velma if she did cigarettes and just sat in the sun for a very long time.
What if that lady lived a good life? Without cigarettes and sunlight.
Without cigarettes.
I mean, she sounds like she smokes 30 packs a day.
Hey man, sometimes genetics just do that to you.
I like these tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what this means, don't you? Yeah, I saw your eyes go
Prisoner?
right to it. They built a lot of cages, huh? The axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
Damn.
Shit.
Now it's our turn to do the chopping.
So that's it. That's why you're here. Revenge.
Yeah, that's good enough for now.
Hmm.
I'm here to win and walk away.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
The walking away part, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool about the show already? Pretend it's the Star Wars portion of this doesn't exist. You just have a really cool show.
Yeah.
I just
Right,
love that
yeah.
entire scene that
Yeah.
we just saw.
Loris,
Yes.
That guy's acting is amazing.
you know his name. Is Leader ready?
He's got like Jedi robes on. Look
Sure.
at that.
Luxurious.
Leader,
They're like Gucci Jedi robes.
am I serious? Just go, you're off the hook.
Damn.
Enjoying this? Get your coat. You're only doing it to show off. What? Just go.
Look at him. He's trying not to
You're
laugh.
involved. It's all about you, isn't it? It's always all about you. Is this really how you'd like to start the day? I didn't choose this conversation.
Damn! A mouth on this child.
I so appreciate the support.
Yeah. Dickhead husband over there.
Yeah, I love it. She's trying to do something for the rebellion, most likely. Trying to use the situation, which the daughter's not wrong about. However, the daughter thinks she's doing it for
Political gain.
Yeah.
Which
Not
sucks.
the family. Yeah.
It is a gain of sorts, but it is a generous gain, not for just herself.
Hey, more milk, man. Isn't that the
I was
best?
gonna say she's milking every scene and every show we're watching. Must be a sign
Maybe.
that you got weak bones. Because you disagree. Milk is the best drink.
Everything else will have to wait.
You're my ideal leader.
The kid gives me like journalist, activist vibes, you know.
And I know that there's a great deal left to say.
As he pulls out a journal.
Look,
Yeah.
right here. This charts an astral path, this maps the trail of political consciousness. Both systems based on truth, both navigating toward clear and achievable outcomes. Basic facts expanded.
Bro.
No, he lost me a long time ago.
No, he's great. But that big brain of his,
Busy day, Clinton.
I'm sure, outweighs the size of his massive skull he's got. He's got big old chrome. It's also, I know I saw him in Black Mirror. Last night I fell asleep to a movie called The Imitation Game, and he was younger Benedict Cumberbatch.
I barely trust you.
Obviously, it's a trap
I really trust you.
so there's an adjusted thrust ratio to make it up the ramp.
You don't know how to get it off the runway, do you?
We know how to fly it.
Yeah, but you gotta get it up there first.
Answer the question.
It's ready to go. That's how they keep it. You're sure of that?
Yes, we're sure. Lieutenant Gord is in there every day.
You trust him though?
There's a load clutch. What were you gonna do if I wasn't here?
Might have been ugly, but we could
They
figure it
couldn't
out.
figure out how to load, like the proper weight that was gonna be loaded.
I'll fly.
No, you'll do as you're told.
I'm flying it. We can say it's your idea. I don't care, but if it's my ass on the line, I'm pulling this thing out of there.
Fair
Fuck
enough.
yeah.
He doesn't do improv.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a calculated man. You guys expected he was going to be doing improv.
Well, I don't know how calculated it is. He murdered 2 people in the street on a whim.
Miscalculation. He was not expecting them to be a part of the plan.
Down there. Where won't be coming from?
That's how far they have to
The old
get.
temple.
Got it.
God, this is gonna be such a tight mission. Oh, this is it.
Gorn. Whoa.
What's this? I'll be revisiting the schedule for winter furloughs.
Don't you love it? They don't even know they're getting yelled at by a rebel.
I don't know. They gave off a vibe to me that they know he's a traitor.
Clem. More.
Don't touch me. You want something, you tell me.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Can you walk like a soldier?
He's like, I'm not a child. Yes. Espionage.
This is back,
Sneaking.
this is back home.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we haven't visited Bix in a little while. This guy doing his due diligence.
Investigating.
He's gonna crack the code.
Ziegler!
The title, I know, doesn't come with extra pay. You can wear a full gown if you'd like. Just get this up and running before my next staff meeting.
The door's being opened as we approach.
Oh my god, the kid needs to turn the gun the other way.
He's gonna accidentally shoot Andor in the head.
Yeah.
Squad, halt!
Should swap sides.
Why don't you get a handle on what we're doing here before you start making suggestions?
He's making good suggestions though.
Yeah.
Why? Why switch sides?
So if they get in a fight.
Skin is left-handed,
What am I?
right-handed.
Tarman?
He's picked up on all that.
Right.
Center?
Fine.
That's really impressive that he's just like picked up on that. How many? It hasn't only been like a day or something since he's been here.
I was gonna say, didn't.
Any other suggestions?
There's no way he got sleep because he had to memorize a shitload of stuff.
Oh.
Oh shit.
I love that they could just hear the screeching.
There's always 2.
Just
Wow,
flying.
listen.
Wow.
Wow.
It's such a terrifying sound to be on the ground
Yeah.
here.
He's gonna start shooting now. Guys.
Just being a cool guy.
How many do you think we'll have tomorrow?
It's less than 100 last time.
Tomorrow.
Still enough to
Yeah,
smell
that's
them,
when
right?
it's happening. They told him last time he only had like 2 or 3
Imagine
days.
space
Oh, I thought it was like 4 or 5.
The crazy star.
Yeah.
40 star.
Quicker than I expected.
Starship
I'm
or
glad I
something.
don't have to wait for it. I thought we were gonna have to wait a couple
Budget business.
episodes. It's interesting. That guy seemed pretty hesitant about, you know, the destroying of the land.
Hey. And you can dress yourself.
Who packed these charges?
A little too flirty with the lady.
The Kyber crystal.
I figured that's what he'd be so high and mighty about, or like worried about.
It wasn't even in the bag.
Is that what look at you?
It's collateral. Can't lose it.
Never climb the same fence twice.
Mm.
It's too random to be random.
No patterns being seen.
Ooh.
Wow, what? This is such a wild endeavor. Just imagine one day you just get recruited to just do one of the most insane things of your life by a random stranger who tells you, hey, also don't tell anyone who I am. You're going to be working with even more strangers now.
Yeah.
Like, he just met these people.
Yeah.
The rebellion.
To
The rebellion. The freaking rebellion. Alright, that's real talk though. Do you think there's a chance any of these guys is going to be a turncoat? I know they were wondering that about Andor. Do you think there's a chance we get someone turning on us out of this crew?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. think a lot are gonna die.
Yeah.
Definitely, I get vibes the smart kid is gonna die.
What's an Imperial lieutenant doing getting involved with this?
That's what I was wondering. How do they
difference
manage
does
to
it make?
find him?
Everyone else
You
seems
can't
to know.
fake a name in the Imperial Army.
Everyone has their own rebellion.
Hopefully.
Oh, maybe, hopefully this isn't his way of getting his promotion back by catching rebels.
That's what I was scared about. He's the only one that's has that little bit. He has the time to disconnect from the rest of them.
But I fear morale might be crushed by having anything more than an essential roster down here tomorrow night.
I love that they all want to see it.
Yeah.
I want it painted the day after tomorrow. I'll be here midday.
Better be
Expect
good.
to see it shine.
Show's
Yes, sir.
hyping it up.
Make sure the men know how close they've come.
I mean, that works out for him.
Yeah.
The less people down there, the better.
Yeah.
More for him. Yep. More for
So that's
room
what they're
to
doing.
adjust if things go bad with less people down there.
Yeah. If there's only like 5 or 8 guys working the area, that's a lot better than 30 or whatever.
You can shoot them all and then become the essential staff.
Don't move. Because you know what'll happen. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh shit.
There we go. I've talked out on questions, Bill. I have reached my limit.
And she won't even
He
know the
won't
answer.
say why he's here, where he's from. He doesn't say what he believes in, and now this? Who brings a treasure to a robbery?
We don't have time for
Good
this.
I need
concerns.
to know. Okay, so I guess we know it's not a fake, huh?
See what'll come. Let's not go too far, Clem.
I just want what's mine.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot.
Enough!
There's something coming. There's a ship in the valley.
Get your packs up.
Be more specific.
Move.
Chrome
Put
Dome.
the weapon away. Give him the stone. You can kill each other later. We'll talk
That's
when
the
we're
shuttle I
safe.
was talking about.
Well, I
Probably
wonder-
the engineer from Coruscant.
Coruscant. Yeah.
Because those ships only really take important people.
Yeah. Officers and
The Emperor
Maybe.
himself.
Maybe so.
It just would have been something else.
What's that mean?
You're trying to find something to
It's always hard.
start a fight over.
Too much time to worry. Of course I'm afraid. But there's a difference between fear and losing your nerve. You want out of this. Make a choice. Don't use me as an excuse.
All of you.
Now, props to
Move.
the lady in charge of this because she's taking all the heat for
Yeah.
all this situation, but she's not, she's not trying to.
Woo!
She ain't backing down.
She ain't really in control either, so.
No, she ain't. She has to roll with the punches, unfortunately.
God. Disney, you can make a kick-ass show like this, but then Marvel,
Looks just like your model.
their shows are dog shit.
I guess it all depends on the directors and the people who make the actual show, not the sponsors that provide the money. You know? All it takes is some creative liberty to make a fun show and not be lazy about it.
Bro, get over it.
I know, let it go, dude.
I can't! It's either this or I drink blue milk every day!
There's a long version, but what matters is they killed him. He was a farmer. Imperial prefect came in, took his land, flooded it. He couldn't bear it, so he went in a boat and filled his pockets with stones.
Oh,
That's as close to an apology as you're gonna get.
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I have a feeling
Tonight.
Clem isn't going to be seeing her anymore.
No.
Yeah. Or the other lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever separates, I feel like we're not going to have a gathering party after this. I think at this point I'm more wondering who will I be seeing for the rest of the show with Clem / Andor. I could see Gorn actually staying around a tiny bit, but I don't know. And I would like the guy with the desire for the Kyber crystal to stay around too, but
Let's just go in here.
You said
Those
that an hour ago.
holocrons in the back?
I'll keep
it looks like a Sith holocron and a Jedi
There's nothing
holocron.
to do tonight.
It's hard to know because we've never really seen one in live action.
Happy?
They'll all be over this time tomorrow.
Or we just be starting.
I guess.
Yeah. Those things are massive too. Sorry, not to get like fixated on that. There's the scene, but they look like they're as big as my head.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've only seen them animated, so it's really hard to like know what to look for. Is the episode over? The episode's
Yeah.
over. Okay. Wow.
Listen to this music. Listen to this Stranger Things music.
Guys, that was episode 5 of Andor.
Is one of them supposed to be? Is that Phasma?
Yeah.
You know, I actually think they're both troopers. They look like
they are.
Oh, Phasma has a cape, right?
Yeah, they're both troopers.
You know
hand.
what I really enjoy about the show, my biggest takeaway tonight for this episode, like, it wasn't the craziest thing we've seen in terms of Star Wars. I still would say episode 3 was, like, the big banger of this series so far. It doesn't mean anything. This is probably going to be a slow burn, personally. I think it's going to be, like, things that require build-up for the big, exciting episodes. This is not going to be, like, we know it's 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And
24, right?
It's
over 2 seasons.
But even still, like, it's very rare for television as a whole to always be at a 10 with, like, what you want. And I don't think that's the intent or what... this is really just me throwing out ideas, but whoever directed this show, I really think they had a vision that they wanted to do for the Star Wars universe, as opposed to, hey, let's do a big budget show that will bring a lot of eyes. Because remember when, like, Rogue One was announced, there was a lot of people like, who wanted this? Remember? And we even talked about that.
I was one of those people.
We weren't one of the only people. Like, that was a common thing. Because everybody, when you have the whole Star Wars universe, it's like, why would we go back to an event that, like, we already know the outcome of?
Right.
And when there's things like that brought into the world, it's always like, okay, yeah, it's Star Wars and has a big name behind it, so it'll bring attention, but, like, what is the purpose of a story? And sometimes I feel like maybe Disney gets lucky and they come across really cool guys with visions, and they're like, I want you to make a movie. Maybe that's how these things are manifested, but whoever they got for this project, I feel like they really just wanted to tell, like, build a universe out of this show, not, like, bring, like, what the Obi-Wan audience is going to be. Like, the Obi-Wan audience is going to be pop culture, like the pop culture nights that come and watch anything that's big, like Stranger Things, because you know that Darth Vader's going to be in it, you know that Obi-Wan's going to be in it. It's going to
be an epic battle of some proportion.
Yeah. And even if you don't like the show, you know there's going to be a reason to tune in. Where this, it's like, I would be willing to bet not a lot of eyes are on this show.
My mom and dad would not watch this, but they might watch Obi-Wan.
But here's what I was going to say about Andor. Well, funny enough, I think Andor is more... maybe not for pop culture sense, but more universally accessible for a random person to just stumble across it.
Yeah.
Only because of the point I was going to say is this episode alone, and I said in the beginning, if you literally stripped out the Star Wars blasters, the TIE fighters, and the Kyber crystal, and you replace it with World War II guns,
a diamond necklace,
or like a blood diamond or some random thing, and a jet flying over. Like, this would just be any other espionage show. But, and funny enough, I used to make complaints about things like that when it came to Star Wars, because sometimes I thought it'd be like, well, where's the Star Wars in it? I don't feel like this is Star Wars. And funny enough, in between this reaction and last reaction, I saw a YouTube video with a thumbnail saying, this is not Star Wars. Well, funny enough, I've now switched my opinion on it. I actually like this version because I feel like we are building a universe that isn't like new territory. All this works with the distance between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. None of this feels like it's just there to be someone else's new vision of Star Wars. This is what I did imagine would be the transition of the Republic to Empire and building a rebellion that's spiteful. What's cool is I feel like they're literally just taking a template from any World War movie, not World War per se, but any
war movie,
historical piece where people rise up against an empire, a dictatorship, and it feels good. Like, seriously, I genuinely, I told my parents about this show, and I was like, just pretend it's not Star Wars, because I feel like they, you know, when they hear me talk about Stranger Things and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all this, it's like too overwhelming for them because it's just all the things that a younger audience wants and not older people. But I feel like, and I don't think they will watch this, but I feel like they would like this show, weirdly enough.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is the perfect show for somebody who's never seen a single Star Wars movie.
It'd be a good way to jump into it.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say in contrast is once you go and see the movies, it is very different.
Very different,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the only thing that's like lacking from that per se is like you definitely need like context to understand like what world we're living in.
Very true. Very true.
Like I would say like the only critique of this show, it's not really even a critique about the show, but just like if it's a
first thing you're watching.
For that idea, if it's the first thing you're watching, like you don't really understand what the Empire is. They've this episode probably explained the Empire better than any other with like, you know, the dude with the tattoos, his story, and you know, like kind of understanding like that this is the oppressors of this universe. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm with you. I really enjoy. I think I have come to terms with that. I despise the idea of shows doing like the Marvel thing, where it's like we just make things to add towards like the greater or the bigger thing. So it's like,
I hate that.
And it's not even like, yes, it is fun to watch like an Avengers movie, and then it encapsulates like the idea of what Thanos wants, and then we kind of get that build up throughout the timeline to that Infinity War Endgame moment. But it's also cool, like, I think it's cool when you have big universes to have individual stories that don't necessarily affect the main plot, if you will, but also, like, fill in the gap of, like, in reality, if this shows kind of, like, the beginning of another version of the beginning of a rebellion, but more so Cassian's role in it, yes, in theory, that's going to affect big things, because it affects Rogue One, which affects everything. But it's a story that you can follow and understand without needing to be, like, read up on the other 10 movies, plus knowing all the lore, plus doing all this. Like, it's just a good story within its own field. Like, we're not getting characters, like, unfortunately, just the way things are, like, yeah, this group of people that Cassian's working with are probably not either A, they're not going to survive and not be around, or B, they're not going to be not going to be super relevant towards the 24th episode of this. Yeah. I could be wrong about that. They could be an integral piece to his upbringing and his story that we see as he like matures into a man. But still, they're making like interesting and relevant stories and ideas. I mean, just even like the dude telling the story about his brother who was a farmer that ended up, you know,
Empire pushed him out.
Empire forced him out, and he ended up drowning himself. Like, I mean, like, that's such a raw, real story that could be like for an audience to comprehend, of someone losing their livelihood and then like making that choice to take their own life because they don't have anything else to live for. But also, it like, okay, now I can empathize and understand why this person hates the Empire, and why like Cassian doesn't really seem to care about that currently, but like this is what is motivating the people to mobilize against the Empire, and it kind of can lead Cassian down that same path. But yeah, I just enjoy the one-off story, or the one-off feel of it.
Just to continue what you were saying, you both know me. I really care for like lightsabers in Star Wars. But I love this show.
You know, that's actually fun. I love that you said that, because during our first few episodes, there was a really exciting moment with gun blasters. I think it was Bootstrap built Luthen and
Cassian.
I want to call him Clem now. Clem and Bootstrap, when they were doing their duel with their blasters, and I was like, this is really cool. And I literally thought about how you always told me growing up, you're like, yeah, if it doesn't have lightsabers, I'm just not interested in Star Wars. Yeah. And you know, that is a valid point. Like it is a staple of Star Wars, and it's in almost every form of media where it comes to Star Wars. I mean, even the show is still technically guilty because they still have the Kyber crystal, which can lead to things down the show. We will have to find out, but and this also goes hand in hand with you. I like that they're not overly making it about certain things. So like we had this conversation with, what was the one show we were talking about? Our first few episodes of Rings of Power, how I felt like they would bring things from the world that the bigger audience will know purely to keep them invested when the story's lacking, where the story's compelling. It's not the most compelling. There's some things that are boring about it, but it's compelling enough that you don't need those Easter eggs to keep you going.
Yeah. Because that's the thing, is like stuff that just thrives off of Easter eggs and like name drops and connecting pieces. Like it doesn't make the story that good.
Yeah.
It makes the story like good for like the normie that's just watching this.
Yeah. it's become too much of a staple. And you brought up Marvel, and this is Disney Plus, and it is the people sponsoring those shows too. So I don't know how they go about making these projects and getting people that I enjoy with story crafting and people I don't enjoy. But just when it came to Marvel, I mean, most of our friend group have not seen like the most recent movies since Infinity War. It could be because of the burnout. It could also be just the fact that, like we said, you see a pattern in certain films where it feels like the intent behind it is to just be a 2-hour trailer for the next 3 films that are gonna come, and it just leaves you feeling ripped off because you want to go and spend money on especially if you're spending money, you want to go spend money on an experience that you're gonna come away with and be happy about, not thinking about the next few things. Fortunately, how I feel like media works now is like it's more of let's keep on selling you the trailer for the upcoming trailers that are 2 hours long to watch trailers in the future. Yeah. And you lost the intimacy of just storytelling. Yeah. That's why I liked earlier Marvel before. I don't want to bash on Marvel because there actually are a lot of films in the MCU I do like, but
there are, but
comparable to the ones before that, I like the ones before that because you just feel these like stories that were made to only be up to 2 or 3 films and that's it.
Yeah. But and it's just like you think about certain stuff like I think Captain Marvel is like a really good example because that movie just did not hit with most people, and it could have been really cool because Captain Marvel's a really fucking cool hero, but it really just felt like they just needed to drop that in just so when she shows up and kills beats Thanos, it's like, oh, we know who this person is. Instead of being like, oh, let's make a really cool story for this character that will also be brought into this movie. You know, it's just the issue with it. But regardless, the show is doing a good job of making a decently put together own series.
Yeah. And I don't think Star Wars in general has really been guilty of that, like, advertisement sin of, like, making projects that sell to other Star Wars projects. I think the only one that might be guilty is Boba Fett and The Mandalorian, and maybe the season 2 of trying to, like, show Boba Fett. He gets his own show. Show Ahsoka. Gets her own show.
Yeah. I think Star Wars has almost had the opposite, where they've almost, for the most part, spread themselves so they've gone to really far directions. Like you have Rogue One, you have a new trilogy, you have Rogue One, you have a solo series movie, which was supposed to be more but got axed because it didn't do well. You know, then you've got
Thank you, Last Jedi.
Then you got Clone Wars finishing. Then you've got Rebels. Then you've got Bad Batch. Then you've got the Mando, Boba, Ahsoka realm. You know what I mean? It's like they almost like
they're trying to figure out like what's gonna land with people. It feels like like a testing game because Star Wars. It's just one of those things where the fan base is so massive, so diverse in what they want and what they think they want.
It's like 3 or 4 different generations of fans that go all in different directions.
And all those generations grow up with certain things that they specifically love more than others. And, I mean, just like Andor. Andor is completely different. What was funny is one of the days, I think the first 2 days, the first 2 days we reacted to these, I actually went and played Battlefront. Go figure. I love that game. Surprise. But I played a map on Naboo, and I was just like, wait, this is the same world that Andor takes place in because the eras are so different. One's like a golden age, everything's like gargantuan and magnificent, and then you have Andor. Espionage, don't even want to be seen. Hiding everything's gray palette, color schemes. Or just like the original trilogy. Like the original trilogy feels so small because it was just a project by George Lucas that no one had faith in, so they didn't have a big ensemble. The rebellion's like made up of like 50 people. And they destroyed the Death Star with 1 million people, supposedly. And the sequels are their own beast, too. So, what I'm saying is, I'm enjoying Andor. And I like the stories we're following. They're not like... I don't know where they're wanting to go with these stories, like the police guy. The police story and his mom. And
I don't know.
He feels like a bit of a reject or like not accepted by her, or he wants to be somebody with a legacy or remembered. He wants to achieve, maybe because he doesn't feel like he's achieved anything. And then we got the story with Mon Mothma and the toll of the sacrifice she's making, and how no one really sees it or understands it, and the flack that she has to go through because no one sees or understands it because she simply can't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the typical who's gonna rat us out between Andor and company, because they're all like random people that are just meeting each other. Well, I guess he's just meeting them, but yeah. That is about to die. I'll get back to my point. I did have a point. The point I was talking about bringing up those stories is I really don't know where they are going to lead or what the stories are going to be, but I like them. Yeah. I like that, and I already brought up the point. They feel like they could be copy and pasted in any other like stories, and still work.
Yeah, only thing I would disagree with, I feel like the one blemish on the show is that detective story. I feel like I like the ISB story with the blonde lady officer who's trying to like put together what like the rebellion that's happening. Yeah. I like Andor and his mission to find his sister, plus trying to find his role and like kind of like make it through this mission to find his sister, but find his peace.
I forgot that was his.
That's like the main point of the show. Really, is him finding his sister. But I like the idea of him being forced into a mission with the rebels and probably finding himself in that, or like resonating with like their mission. I like Luthen and like him trying to oversee with Mon Mothma trying to fight back, and then Mon Mothma's family stuff. But yeah, the detective's the only one where I'm like, eh.
I was curious what you guys were going to say about Luthen's story, because right now it just seems like he's in hiding, and I mean, either two things could happen: that this mission is successful, and he's like, all right, I got a team that we can definitely start the rebellion, or shit goes left, and he has to really go into hiding.
Yeah, I mean, he's really just the overseer of this and like the orchestrator. He's really just, and I mean, he's worried because he even said in this episode like, I feel like I rushed this and kind of fucked this up with getting Andor involved, or like in this way. So,
but like as his friend said, you wanted this.
Yeah,
you wanted it,
and also the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Because they do have pretty insurmountable odds against them.
How do these people even like sleep? Like not mean like they're like horrible people, but like
the nerves.
Yes. Yeah. How do you sleep?
How does a soldier sleep in war?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
Drugs.
Oh my god.
I didn't expect the show to be getting us to the eye in the sky by probably the next episode, so I don't know what the trajectory is. I assume the mission will go sour, but we'll get away maybe with the credits because Andor's not dying. The show's named after him. Yes, plot armor. Maybe he dies at the end. But
he's a clone.
Yeah, Rogue One. He's a clone of Rogue One. I'm curious what Luthen's gonna do next, though. Like when this mission either fails or excels, like what is the next step in the takedown of the Empire? Yeah. Do you go after something bigger, or now can we move on to phase 2 because we have the numbers against the Empire?
Right. What is next?
What is his master plan if he is an overseer? Who is he working with, or is he really just by himself? Does he have more friends in the game other than Mon Mothma?
And who's this? Is it a consultant? Was that the word that they said was coming
in? Engineer from Coruscant's coming to visit. I don't know who that would be. Do not know.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's all about, but
there was a talk about videos. There was another video suggesting on our YouTube talking about like 15 characters that are possible for being an Andor, and I wanted to click on it so bad.
No, keep your reaction.
I wanted to. I will. I mean, I have a couple of contenders. I have like maybe 3 people I could think of that could be in this show, but the number I saw, I was like, man, I can't think of that many people, but that's exciting. It's an exciting premise. Is it the only thing bringing me in? No. But will that be fun? When it happens? Absolutely. Wedge Antilles. Yes, sir. Childish Gambino just shows up. That could be a thing.
Weren't they saying they were going to do a TV show with him?
Yes, Lando's getting his own show.
I don't know. I really just would have preferred Han because, I mean, he's more the main character. But Childish Gambino is a superstar. He's a superstar. I'm not the biggest fan when superstars are like the showrunner. But it is okay. At least we're getting Star Wars. We'll see when it comes. Any last thoughts?
I'm loving this.
I'm liking it.
I love the opening scene when I think his name is Skim or Scheme. The dude with all the tattoos. I love that whole scene.
The axe forgets, the tree remembers.
Yeah, that was a great line.
That was cool. He looks cool.
Yes, he does.
He looks tough.
He looks like a tall, skinny Andy Serkis.
Yeah. Slender version, but the eyes, the same piercing eyes and face.
Yeah, those big eyes are there.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah. I had a feeling the Kyber Crystal was going to get revealed to them.
I'm wondering if it's going to play a bigger role than just...
Yeah, being a crystal.
I mean, it's a pretty important thing to have in the universe.
Yeah.
But, for many reasons, more than just giving it to a Jedi and igniting a saber. But it's one of the more powerful... I know you don't watch Rebels, but it's a form of power. Pretty sure... Do you know it
wasn't that the Death Star?
It makes the beam for the Death Star. Very powerful. Guys, if you made it to this point, make sure you dodge the blaster fires and the Death Star beams. Go find your own Kyber Crystal, but most importantly, like the video, subscribe, comment down below. We'll see you in the next episode of Andor. Let us know your thoughts. We'll see you next week. Punch it.